lab. And the publicity. Nobody wants to be associated with something that is considered scandalous or eugenic. After leaving prison in 2022, the Chinese biophysicist surprised nearly everyone by seeking to make a scientific comeback. At first, he floated ideas for DNA-based data storage and affordable cures for children who have muscular dystrophy. But then, in summer 2023, he posted to social media that he intended to return to research on how to change embryos with gene editing, with the caveat that no human embryo will be implanted for pregnancy. His new interest was a gene called APP, or amyloid precursor protein. It's known that people who possess a very rare version, or allele, of this gene almost never develop Alzheimer's disease. In our video call, he said the APP gene is the main focus of his research now, and that he is determining how to change it. The work, he says, is not being conducted on human embryos, but rather on mice and on kidney cells, using an updated form of CRISPR called base editing, which can flip individual letters of DNA without breaking the molecule. We just want to expand the protective allele from small amounts of lucky people to maybe most people, he told me. And if you made the adjustment at the moment an egg is fertilized, you would only have to change one cell in order for the change to take hold in the embryo and eventually everywhere in a person's brain. Trying to edit an individual's brain after birth is as hard as delivering a person to the moon, he said. But if you deliver gene editing to an embryo, it's as easy as driving home. In the future, He said, human embryos will obviously be corrected for all severe genetic diseases, but they will also receive a panel of perhaps 20 or 30 edits to improve health. If you've seen the sci-fi film Gattaca, it takes place in a world where such touch-ups are routine, leading to stigmatization of the movie's hero, a would-be space pilot who lacks them. One of these would be to install the APP variant, which involves changing a single letter of DNA. Others would protect against diabetes and maybe cancer and heart disease. He calls these proposed edits genetic vaccines, and believes people in the future won't have to worry about many of the things most likely to kill them today. Is He the person who will bring about this future? In 2023, in what seemed to be a step toward his rehabilitation, he got a job heading a gene center at Wuchang University of Technology, a third-tier institution in Wuhan. But He said during our call that he had already left the position. He didn't say what had caused the split, but mentioned that a flurry of press coverage had made people feel pressured. One item in a French financial paper, Les Echos, was titled, GMO Babies, The Secrets of a Chinese Frankenstein. Now he carries out research at his own private lab, he says, with funding from Chinese and American supporters. He has early plans for a startup company. Could he tell me names and locations? Of course not, he said with a chuckle. It could be there is no lab, just a concept, but it's a concept that is hard to dismiss. Would you give your child a gene tweak, a swap of a single genetic letter among the 3 billion that run the length of the genome, to prevent Alzheimer's, the mind thief that's the 7th leading cause of death in the US? Polls find that the American public is about evenly split on the ethics of adding disease resistance traits to embryos. A sizable minority, though, would go further. A 2023 survey published in Science found that nearly 30% of people would edit an embryo if it enhanced the resulting child's chance of attending a top-ranked college. The benefits of the genetic variant He claims to be working with were discovered by the Icelandic gene hunting company Decode Genetics. 26 years ago, in 1998, its founder, a doctor named Kari Stefansson, got the green light to obtain medical records and DNA from Iceland's citizens, allowing Decode to amass one of the first large national gene databases. Several similar large biobanks now operate, including one in the United Kingdom, which recently finished sequencing the genomes of 500,000 volunteers. These biobanks make it possible to do computerized searches to find relationships between people's genetic makeup and real-life differences, like how long they live, what diseases they get, and even how much beer they drink. The result is a statistical index of how strongly every possible difference in human DNA affects every